morning, everyone. I'm Yordanos Eyoel, and I am the founder and CEO of Keseb. Keseb, meaning of the people, is an organization that I founded in May of 2022. And we are guided by a two-pronged mission. First, countering rising and enduring authoritarianism. And two, advancing inclusive and resilient democracies, which is something that we all know no country has been able to achieve. And we think that it's important to pursue these two goals simultaneously because at times in the pro-democracy movement, we make trade-offs. We make choices to counter authoritarianism that actually are not conducive to building an inclusive or resilient democracy in the long term. So we think it's really important that we hold these two goals concurrently. But how did I get here? Clearly, I have an American accent, and I'm telling you, I lead an organization with an Ethiopian name. And that's because my passion for democracy comes from my childhood experiences. I was born during the longest civil war in Ethiopia and grew up as a multi-ethnic girl, navigating all of the complexities that come with that as the country was transitioning to an ethnic federation. Eventually, I moved to the US in my teens with a deep passion for social justice and democracy. But like many people studying political science, I was quite unsure what that would mean for my career. But I became enamored by the idea of innovation and entrepreneurship to drive transformative change socially. And so that led me to venture philanthropy. I spent a decade at one of the pioneering venture philanthropy organizations in the US called New Profit, where I had the opportunity to support incredible social entrepreneurs working on education, workforce development, and other issue areas. And then I became a US citizen in 2016. And this is where my personal interest in politics and democracy converged with my professional interest in innovation and entrepreneurship. I became a part of a group of citizens that came together to organize the 2017 Women's Marches. We scaled the march from Washington, D.C. to become an event that took place across all continents, mobilizing 3 million people total. But what was instructive for me is what came after the march. I saw an incredible amount of entrepreneurial energy in the democracy space in the US at the time. And I started to ask myself this question, if we have innovation and social entrepreneurship to address all of these problems in a multitude of issue areas, why don't we have a similar frame to think about addressing the challenges in democracy? And so I started piloting this idea of democracy entrepreneurship in the US through an initiative I launched at New Profit. And as I got deeper into the democracy space, like many of you, it became clear to me that having national efforts alone is insufficient, which is what we're doing here, right? We also need transnational solutions for two reasons, amongst many. One is that the crisis of democracy, as we've been discussing, is global. Last year, the Freedom House reported that 8 out of 10 people lived in a country that is not free. What we also know to be true is that anti-democratic forces, the authoritarian actors, are collaborating. They're building networks of learning. They're sharing tactics across borders in what we have come to understand as the authoritarian playbook. And so given the enormous challenges that we face, and realizing that these issues are not just happening in burgeoning democracies, they're taking place in developed, diverse, and geopolitically significant countries like Brazil, India, South Africa, the United States, representing 25% of the world's population. So what this means is that we need to mobilize the entire democracy ecosystem. We need the private sector, we need the public sector, we need civil society, as well as the media. For us at Keseb, we're focused on civil society, in particular, innovation and entrepreneurship within civil society to accelerate the pace of innovation in the pro-democracy movement. From our research and analysis, we believe that effective pro-democracy efforts must have 4 characteristics. They need to be able to envision and execute impactful strategies. They have to be adaptable, nimble, and resilient. They have to maintain accountability with their constituents. And last but not least, they have to effectively balance short and long-term goals. This is what we refer to as democracy entrepreneurship. And now you might be wondering, who are democracy entrepreneurs? You've heard from many of them already at this forum, but they're like Keseb fellows, like Koketso Moeti in South Africa, who leads Amandla Mobi, which is building the political power of poor Black South African women through a digital platform. Or take Gabriel Marmentini of Polichize in Brazil, that is leading an innovative civic education effort that is focused on both adults as well as young people. They're incredible and innovative democracy entrepreneurs like them and like the ones that you've met here in this room all over the world. But they need financial investment, they need capacity building support, and they need transnational solidarity and collaboration networks. And so that's what we're doing at Keseb. We're building an ecosystem for collaboration, innovation, and learning for the pro-democracy field, in particular for democracy entrepreneurs. And we're doing that through 3 impact initiatives. Keseb Democracy Fellowship, that supports democracy entrepreneurs, and I'll talk more about that. Our Global Democracy Champions Network, as well as lifting up insights and amplifying the innovations of democracy entrepreneurs so we can continue to bolster the field. So for our fellowship, after doing an analysis for about a year, looking at critical strategies that need to be supported and invested in, particularly during this year, and as we approach the mega election year of 2024 next year, where over 2 billion people will be casting votes across over 50 countries, there are 4 pillars that we've prioritized for the Democracy Fellowship investment: promoting free, fair, and trusted elections, building leadership pipeline for representative government, combating misinformation, and cultivating informed, empowered, engaged citizens and voters. Through the fellowship, we provide multi-year grants to the organization, a wellness stipend, as well as a 2-year community of learning and practice, and we're currently supporting 12 democracy entrepreneurs from Brazil, South Africa, and the United States. And to continue to amplify democracy innovation, similar to what we're doing here, we host Virtual Summit. We're a young organization, so this will be the 2nd year that we will bring people together. And this year, our focus is on preparing for the mega 2024 election year. Our summit is going to take place from October 24th, 26th, and I invite all of you to join us. And last but not least, when we talk about innovation for democracy, we have to be able to share insights across borders. And we're doing that here today. And we also hope to contribute to that by disseminating insights from our network as well as the entrepreneurs that we support. And so this is our first report that we published back this past May called Defending and Straightening Diverse Democracies. I invite you to download it here to learn more. But I want to close by saying that it's been so energizing for me to be in this room with all of you because we are not daunted by the challenges that we face. We obviously have really immense problems facing democracy today, but I am energized by the fact that we're all here not only to understand and unpack the problems, but also seek solutions to defend and straighten democracy. So I hope that the democracy entrepreneurship frame that I shared today can be one lens that we can use to accelerate the pace of innovation in the pro-democracy movement. Thank you.